watching Numbskull News, and today we're talking about this big news that dropped in the ACC. Everything's going straight to hell. Yeah, you wanted unequal revenue sharing. Well, you're going to get more than you bargained for in the ACC. This particular video, and there's going to be several about the news that came out, but this video is specifically about what the Miami AD, what's the name? Rezalovich or whatever. I don't know what the hell, however you pronounce his name. I have enough trouble with English besides throwing in all this, Russian stuff or whatever, wherever he's from. He talked about splitting the ACC, the brands and the non-brands, the haves and the have-nots, and splitting it up like that in divisions. And at first I was like, talking about splitting it down the middle in half? I don't think that's what's going to happen. But let's take a look at it and see if we can't come up with something like what he's talking about. Holy crap. So let's go. Well, here's a start. So the haves are going to be on the right side here. And of course, the have-nots are going to be on the left side. And I've already got it started because, look, FSU, Miami, Clemson, of course, part of the haves, the brands, right? And the icky non-brands, Wake Forest, Boston College. Unfortunately, Syracuse is going to be thrown in there. And SMU. Now, the reason I put the haves on the right side, just so you know, because I needed enough room for my stupid face down here. And there's plenty of room on that side. We need more room for the have-nots. Okay, so let's see if we could even this up, though. And you know what? Just a political deal here. Not because they got huge ratings or anything, but UNC will find itself over there with the haves. They're going to be part of that consortium. And I put Notre Dame here in the middle. They're going to be playing a have-not game here and there. It's not all going to be on the right side here. But a lot of it is. Already, Clemson is playing Notre Dame every year for the next 12 years. So, here's an interesting one. NC State. Where do they fall? All right. Now, we know politically there's a lot of tie-ins with UNC and NC State. But NC State, they did vote for Calford and SMU to come in when UNC did not want that to happen. Are they going to get left out in the cold in this thing? You know what? I actually think they will get left out in the cold. Ooh. They're going to get shifted over here, even though their ratings are better than UNC's ratings. I have a feeling that could happen. And all this talk about Virginia, the SEC and all that. Well, where do they fall in this thing? You know what's going to happen? I'm telling you right now. Oh, yeah. They're going to get put over here. Well, they're a brand. They're important. It's political connections, not what they do on the field that's going to get them into that consortium of brands over there. Pitt. Oh, man. Sorry, Pitt. But if you think the big boys are going to let you play with them, you have another thing coming. Pitt is going to be brushed aside. All right, we did Virginia. What about Virginia Tech? I mean, they got a brand. They haven't had a lot of success lately, but they have been a brand. And you know what? I really do believe Virginia is going to do exactly what they did to get Virginia Tech into the ACC. They're going to push them into this thing, is what's going to happen. Georgia Tech, better ratings than you think. They've been kind of killing it, and they're coming up. The Atlanta market, all of that. I mean, they got a lot going for them. So where Are they going to be allowed to go? I'm telling you right now. they're going to they're going to get kicked off into the pile here, folks. They're gone. And then there's Duke. Where does Duke fit in these divisions? This is going to be crazy. This is going to be a little nuts. A little nuts. Where do we put Duke? I know that sounds and looks a bit crazy. Duke in there with those. I'm wondering if there's enough political connections there with UNC to get them in. And just, I know Duke, it's bad ratings just like Virginia. But recently, not too long ago, Duke had a pretty damn outstanding, over 1 million views per week on average a couple of years ago. Now, it last year was kind of bad for Duke. They really fell hard. But like I said, a lot of this is going to be political movement. I'm wondering if Duke has enough to get in. They just might. Well, then there's Calford. What do we do here with Calford? Who gets in? Who gets into the best conference here? Does either one of them get there? Stanford plays Notre Dame every year, and that's not going to change. Cal, once in a while. Here's the crazy thing about Stanford and Cal. Especially Cal. Cal gets pretty decent TV numbers. Better than Duke most years. Both of them are better than Virginia. And lately, they've been better than Virginia Tech. This is a tough one for me. Where do they go in this? Because they're not exactly have-nots. They are buddies with Notre Dame. I think for right now, I'm going to put them into the non-brand category. They haven't done jack in a long time. Stanford or Cal. Both, especially Stanford, is starting to make inroads in investing in football and basketball. It may be a little too late. And then we got Louisville. Louisville. Where does Louisville go? Damn, this is... Because here's the thing. They got decent enough ratings. They're highly competitive. They would be a good fit, if you ask me, for this division right here. This is where I think they should go. Will they? There's a lot of snobbery on the right side of this thing. Right? And Louisville's a pretty damn good program. Do they want to have to deal with Louisville over there? Maybe they'd like some more lovable losers. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to put them here. Because I think they deserve, if you're talking about the top 8 brands of the ACC, Louisville deserves to be up there. No doubt about it. I would not be shocked. Wouldn't be shocked if Louisville is replaced by Stanford. If this thing really happens, would not be shocked to see Stanford in there instead of Louisville. As a matter of fact, you might see Louisville and Duke put into the loser pile and Stanford and Cal be put over there just for the political tie-ins, because maybe that's what Notre Dame wants. It's just some food for thought. But you see what a mess this is? See how horrible? Could you imagine any AD in the Big 12 to suggest some bullshit like this? It is simply amazing. And this cause something like this is going to happen. They're going to have their ACC meetings pretty soon. And the fit is going to hit the shan. I guarantee it. Of course, that's just a fun exercise, right? It's just something fun for a video, speculate, throw out there. But those talks are happening. You have an AD of one of the biggest brands in the ACC saying this shit publicly. This bifurcation crap. Brands and non-brands, separate them out. Segregation, if you will. Yeah. Amazing. And there are people in my comments still that are talking, oh, the ACC is going to live forever. It'll survive. It'll survive long term, past 2036. It'll survive how just like the Pac-12 survived, in name only. In name only, because it's not just the smallest brands that are going to get kicked in the nuts here. All right, there's a lot of mid-tier brands that are going to get screwed over. Whether that's Stanford and Cal or Duke, Louisville, Pitt is going to get screwed in this. NC State has a chance to get screwed. I don't think Virginia Tech would get screwed. I think Virginia and Virginia Tech are going to be allowed in because it's the brands. Forget about what kind of ratings. Because here's the thing: Florida State, Clemson, and Miami, they want to score a lot of wins. So they're okay with brands being there that they can kick the shit out of most years. And Duke's been a little bit better here recently, haven't they? Yeah. But what is that? But let me go back to something. Getting kicked in the nuts by these small brands and the kind of like the mid-tier brands of the ACC. Because they're not going to be playing Clemson, Florida State, and Miami, or hell, Notre Dame. Rarely ever now. It ain't going to be every year. It's not going to be every other year. It'll work out just in that. Like I said, there's 8 teams in that division. That means 7 of your conference games. You see what I did there? I just took 8 schools, 8 of the biggest brands, or 8 of the best friends, whatever you want to call it. But those 8. I mean, let's go look at it again. Real quick like. Yeah, these 8. Let's say it's just these 8. And like I said, maybe I'm wrong on Louisville. Maybe I'm wrong on Duke. But I can tell you right now, those 6, solid. They're going to be there. If they do something like this, and they very well could. I mean, this AD is saying it publicly. He's going to be pushing for it. And may very well get it. But look what this does to an NC State. The amount of money that they're going to lose. Now, you could say, well, the Board of Governors won't allow it. No! The Board of Governors are going to control the realignment things. They can't control the divisions if that's what's going to happen. They can't control that. They can't control the scheduling. These brands are going to get their way. They're going to get their way. If they want this, they got it. Think about what that does to Georgia Tech, though. All right, they're on the come up. Oh, but just think about this: Georgia Tech, NC State, Pitt, Syracuse, especially. Those brands are going to be calling Brett Yormark. If something like this happens, oh, get us the hell out of here. And if I'm right about the Big 12 doubling its media rights, they ain't waiting until 2036. They'll pay their 75 and they're going to get out. And it'll be more than just 1 or 2 teams, by the way, with this shit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because as soon as the big brands leave, and several of them will before 2030, well, Louisville's been living the good life. If they're in this thing, and they very well may not be in that consortium. You know, I just thought, if you're talking about the top 8 brands, they gotta be. They gotta be. But is Virginia really? I mean, they are a big name, Virginia. Everyone's heard of Virginia Tech. But do they really deserve, after the last 10, 15 years? You know, have they done anything in college football? No. Virginia Tech had a really nice run about 15 years ago. Really awesome run. It looked like they were destined to be like top shelf for a long time, and then death spiral. Death spiral. I have been saying maybe Louisville and one other in 2030 will pay the freight and come to the Big 12. But they're about to piss a lot of people off. So when they get abandoned by Florida State and Clemson and Miami, and they hightail it out of there, if I'm Pitt, I got to get out. I got to find my way to the Big 12. If I'm Louisville, I got to go. I'm not going to be here sucking wind and getting killed if they're not in that consortium, which they may not be. NC State, I got to find a way to get out, which they may be stuck in the ACC with UNC because of the Board of Governor BS. Don't know how that's going to work. But they could very well be stuck. Virginia and Virginia Tech could be stuck as well. So they may be in the club right now, but they may be screwed later on. I know everyone's talking. Oh, UNC, no. I don't believe any of that shit. I don't believe any of that. I'll believe it when I see it. All right? Just leave it at that. I have to go all the way down that rabbit hole again. But yeah, either way, there's going to be a lot of nice brands that are going to be pissed off and screwed over in the ACC. And they can't wait to get the hell out of there. When this happens, it's this death. It's death to the ACC. Death to the ACC. Now, I never bought into the dissolving the conference. But if you got your top brands who all know they have landing spots, if you can get some of these mid-level brands to be pissed off enough and know they can get to the Big 12, maybe they figure out a way to do that. Now, does Wake Forest want to dissolve the conference? Probably not. Does SMU? No. Boston College? No. But is that enough to stop it? Don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they can or not. But I know there's a lot of people that is going to be trying like hell. Because the top brands who can go to the Big Ten and the SEC, if you dissolve the conference, they don't have to pay the $75 million. They're golden. And the lower brands, they want you to pay $75 million so they can collect on that. But I have a feeling come 2030, if this thing stays together that long, that more than two brands may just find $75 million in the sock drawer and get the hell on out of Dodge. Especially with this shit going on. I'm telling you, unequal revenue sharing is death. It's a death sentence to any conference. You want to do it? Go ahead. And they're doing it. Because the teams that are leaving, they don't give a shit. They don't care about this thing long term. Just in the here and now, they want the money and they're going to get it. It's already been decided. All right, it's already been decided. That hamburger's already been grilled and now it's about to get served to you. That shit burger, I should call it. And you're going to take a big old bite, ACC fans. Good luck to you. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap. I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.